Yu-Gi-Oh is one of the most difficult trading card games to get into. With over 10,000 different cards and so many different products to choose from, where do you even begin? Using a budget of just £30 a week, I set out to mould my own deck and climb the competitive ladder all the way to the European Championships. The challenge? All my cards have to be obtained through sealed official products. I'm not allowed to trade, I'm not allowed to buy cards individually, and instead have to rely on the cold, hard luck of the draw. You're watching Yu-Gi-Oh from scratch. Welcome back to the show, my guys. Another installment of Yu-Gi-Oh from scratch means we have a fresh stack of cash to spend. But before we go on a wild shopping spree, there is a few things we need to figure out first. Obviously there's a lot of different cards we need from different products, but we want our cash monies to be as impactful as possible. There's no point going straight for Ib without any search targets for her effect, and there's no reason to get the likes of Red MD or Tempest right away either, because we'd rarely see them. And that, my friends, is where Duel Power comes in. Not only does it contain the endgame cards we need, like Heavenly Spheres and Beat Cop, but it also offers generic power cards like Evenly Matched and Infinite Impermanence. The main reason this is a perfect set for us right now, however, is because of this guy, Utopia Double. Granted, we also need to pull Double or Nothing to use it, but this gives us the ability to end games using just 2 level 4s. While it's not necessarily a card we'd be using in our final build, it gives our current deck a massive power boost, so fingers crossed. Here she is for the small price of £20. Savage Strike is getting super hard to find as sealed product now, but I did find a website with a small bit of stock for special editions with 20% off. So I got these two for £6 each. Finally, to round off the budget, I needed to get a different sleeve for the extra deck, so we're going for the blue and black color scheme. And of course, that is all our money gone, at least until next week. So may our pools be blessed. Alright, let's crack these open then. Now, I can't really remember the ratios for Duel Power, but I will be happy if we pull at least one card we can use in the deck. Obviously, starting out here, we've got this promo pack, which has the protagonist monsters from the anime, one of which we will be using. So we have Dark Magician, Elemental Hero Neos, Stardust Dragon, Utopia, which is mandatory if we want to play Utopia Double. We got Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and Decode Talker, which I guess is a maybe. Moving on to the real juice here, we have pack number 1 of 6. See what we get. El Shaddai Fusion to start us off, followed by Performable Sorcerer, Dude, Righty Driver. We have a Chair, and Jasmine. Sadly, none of that is actually useful. It's got to be uphill from here, right? Please? Pack 2, Security Dragon. Don't think we'll be using that. Utopia, but it's the wrong Utopia. Dragostapelia, for when we have Super Poly. Booster Dragon, which, hey, is actually a rarity bump, so we can put that Ultra in our extra deck, and a Shadow Construct, which is completely useless. Pack 3 coming in with, really, Shadow Construct again, back to back. That is not what we want. Double Hero Attack, Tactical Exchanger, Galaxy Soldier, and Necros of Brio. We're halfway through, and we've got absolutely nothing to show for it. I do not like the look of this, but there's my boy, we got the dub. We do, however, still need Double or Nothing to make him usable, which will be a total cockblock if we don't get it. But moving on, we have Toon Dark Magician Girl and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which is perfect because we'll need that for Guard Dragons and 2 other useless cards. Who cares about them? That was a good pack. I'm a little bit happier now. We've not been totally shafted. But anyway, pack 5, we have Photon Advancer, High Priestess of Prophecy, Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon, Fright for Patchwork, and Ghost Reaper, which is a hand trap, but it's kind of the most useless hand trap. We don't have any targets for it, which is a slight problem. Final pack, we have Ghost Ogre, so back-to-back hand traps, can't really complain about that. Ghost Ogre will be going straight in the main deck, so that's kind of nice. Followed by Elemental Hero Fusion, Lefty Driver, Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and Linkuriboh, which is not Double or Nothing. I've never really been so disappointed to see a Linkuriboh, but hey, we do have a level 1, so it may have a use in the extra deck. I'm not going to bother opening these promos just because they are Garbaggio. However, we do have 6 packs of Savage Strike. Realistically, I'm not expecting anything big, but all the Guard Dragons are super rare, so there is a decent chance we get at least one. Time Thief Redoer is in the set as a rank 4 common as well, so if we pull that we could actually play it, which may be quite interesting. But hey, we got Rocket Synchron as a rare, which is another rarity bump. A very slight rarity bump, but it is still a rarity bump nonetheless. And a bunch of commons. Borrowload Savage Dragon is of course the main card we want out of the set as a short printed ultra, so if we pull that I will be ecstatic. Back to the cards though, we have Summon Over, Catch Eve L2, Salad Parrot. For the rare we have Trickstar Fusion, and yo, we did pull a secret. We got arguably the worst secret in the set. It did have a lot of hype to begin with, but ended up just being total trash. Our Orcus package grows with Orcus Nightmare there, because we did have Babel in the last episode, remember? So who knows, we could slip in an Orcus package to the deck eventually. Pack 3 I think we're on now. We have a Time Thief Regulator, big super robot insect dude, we got a Rim Job Spell. For the rare we have Chalice Slime and a Super Kaina, plus a bunch of commons that may or may not see play. Once again, we're halfway through our packs with nothing to show for it except the rarity bump. Trash pack numero 4, we got Catch Eve L2, Time Thief Hack, Incantation Spell, another Trickstar Fusion rare, and we got an ultra rare, but Valkyrie's Final Light is, well, it's Valkyrie's. Nothing more needs to be said. We have 2 chances left, and honestly I think an ultra and a secret is about as good as we're going to do rarity wise, so we're just hoping on Guard Dragons now. We got Fusion of Fire and Trickstar Super. So I guess Fusion of Fire could be side decked for the Salaman Great match, assuming we do pull the Fusion. So final pack of the episode, we got the Incantation Spell, Time Thief Winder, Aloof Lupine, rare we got World Chalice, World Arc, and thank god, Guard Dragon Agarpain. We pulled one, and better yet, we have the Abyss to go with it, so we're actually going to be making plays. So this is essentially what our £30 got us this week. A couple of new toys to play with, and as I said in the last episode, we're going to shift to a Go Second build, so there's a couple changes to be made, and we'll go figure that out now. Alright boys, here's what we got so far. Keeping in mind we do want to go second. So starting out we have the 3 Rocket Tracer. What can I say? It's literally the best card in the deck. Followed by 3 Abzerarter Dragon, which is also amazing. I really can't fault this card. For the Rocket package, I opted for 3 Magna Rocket, 3 Silver Rocket, 2 Auto Rocket, and the 1 Rocket Synchron. I felt like 9 was a really good number so that you're not bricking but you're also not running out of targets. 3 Gateway Dragon for getting bodies on the board, 2 Defrag Dragon, which is probably one of the first things I would cut from the deck because I don't feel like I benefit enough from sending things to the grave. Background Dragon, obviously for Dragon Shrine. And finally, to finish the monster lineup, we have our one-off Ghost Ogre. For the spells, you already know we got our 3 Quick Launch, 3 Squib Draw for extra resources, triple Dragon Shrine to start off our combos, 20s because back row is everywhere right now, 2 Reborns because 3 is just too many, double Poly and a Dragon's Mirror for the fusion spells, and finally for the 40th card we have the Field Spell. I feel quite confident with this lineup. It does seem quite solid. Obviously we are learning the deck as we play, but I feel like we're onto something. Quickly going over the extra deck here, we have the 2 Fast, 2 Furious, 2 boosters including our shiny Ultra, double Quad Borrow which should facilitate our limited Guard Dragon plays, 2 Borrowloads, triple Burst, Linkuriboh, Big Boy Agarpain, Decode Talker to try him out, 1 Zeraboros, Utopia, and finally our main monster, Abyss. For our side deck here, we have the 3 Magic Cylinder for Game 3, 3 Mirror Force for going first, 3 Red Reboot obviously for trap decks, we have the Imperial Order for strikers, and Ghost Reaper for the odd scenario where we actually go against some kind of Guard Dragon build so we can hit the Agarpain. Now with all that out the way, I think we have a tournament to go to. So round 1 we ended up against Sky Strikers, and he won the dice roll and made me go first, which really wasn't what I was hoping for first game with the going second build. With a really awkward hand, we did manage to get out Abyss in the first game after pulling him. There is actually quite a few ways to get him out, so I'll probably go through all the tiny little combos we have available to us in the next episode. But for this game, he baits out the Abyss with an Afterburners, and then there's not really much else I can do past that. He does drop a Mystic Mine even though he doesn't need it, and does all his Sky Striker stuff, ending on Shizuku, multi-roll, and 2 back row. Unfortunately, I don't pick up the Twin Twisters, so the only way to get rid of mine is to link everything into a Decode Talker and then proceed to get OTK'd in the next turn. Game 2, we make him go first, and all he does is activate Area 0 and then set 2 pass. I'm really not worried though, because I do open the 20s, and it turns out he had Demise of the Land set, so I guess he was planning to set up mine. Looking back, this was a bit of a misplay, but I put everything I had into a Borrow Load and attacked for 3k pass. So if he had gotten into a second Widow Anchor with the 3rd spell engrave, I pretty much would have just lost then and there. Thankfully, he draws into nothing useful, and then Area 0 really doesn't do anything for him either, surprisingly. Punch him again and give him one more chance with the Area 0, to which he does get a Widow Anchor, but he doesn't have the 3 spells engrave, so that's game. Game 3, I side in Mirror Force because I know he's going to make us go first, which he does, and our board sucks, man. We do set a Mirror Force, but 3 random monsters on board doing nothing, ugh. The best part is he bricks so hard, and Area 0 doesn't even help him. He sets literally everything and goes to pass, but not before I activate Tracer's effect to get a plus off Magna Rocket. From here, going into my turn, I feel like we just need to push for game and get that 8,000 damage on board, which we do, and we're met with no response. So we actually win the match.
I roll, yeah. 6. I'll go second. You go second. Yeah.
Game 2 was extremely weird. We were up against, Fairy Tale Kaiju Invoked? So he uses terraforming to search for Secret Village of the Spellcasters, and he puts out a Fairy Tale with Ties of the Brethren, ending on the board of the 3 Spellcasters plus the field spell, and I'm pretty sure my hand was like 4 or 5 spells. What we did open though was Silver Rocket Dragon, and that is crucial because all the Fairy Tales have an attack stat of 1850, and Silver Rocket has 1900 attack. I then decide to go into Quad Barrel Dragon, thinking I'd be able to pop the field spell with it, but then I read it again and you can only pop monsters. So that was a very big misplay. I thought that would be enough just to lose on the next turn, but no. Down come Kaijus and a couple of attacks, and we go on to have this really long grind game with a bunch of back and forths, and it's just a simplified game state, and it was really strange and really fun. I beat over his last spellcaster with another Silver Rocket, allowing me to then use my spells, and also locks him out of his spells at the same time. So with a quick launch, a squib draw, and a polymerization, I gather myself some more resources and get out our big beat stick, the Furious Dragon. This is then followed up with another misplay where I normal summon Rocket Synchron with no effect, just to destroy it and the Kaiju with Furious Dragon. What I should have done was keep hold of the Rocket Synchron for when Borrow Load Furious dies, just so I could then revive it when I normal summon the Rocket Synchron, but it's too late now. Down comes a Pankratops to destroy my dragon, and I decide to chain the Furious effect to get rid of the field spell, just so I'm not locked out of spells again. He passes on nothing, and my only play is to activate the Furious effect in Grave to revive a Link monster, and then tribute summon Background Dragon. Like, what? So he drops a Kaiju Slumber and then attacks. I set 1 pass, to which he drops another Kaiju and then attacks. I set 1 pass, to which he drops another Kaiju and then gets a normal summon of a Fairy Tale to finally finish the game. What a roller coaster. Game 2 was just as strange. I make him go first because his deck obviously wants to go second, and he ends on a Meltdown plus a Luna. Now with any semi-decent hand I really should be able to OTK through this, but I'm pretty sure with the poly that I opened I was lacking 1 monster to actually go off. I did have a Rocket Tracer and a quick launch, so I used my normal summon to get 3 bodies on board, and then I kinda have to activate the Squib Draw to try and see if I can draw into something better, which doesn't really come. So at this point I'm kind of forced to go into the battle phase and attack with my 2 monsters, but on attack declaration down comes the Witchcrafter Golem Aruru, which bounces my monster back to hand. Now, something interesting to note here is if I had Rapid Trigger instead of Polymerization, I could have responded to that and got Furious out, but I don't run Rapid Trigger, I run Poly instead. which would have been much more helpful in this situation, but Poly is just better in general, so maybe ratios are needing tweaked a little bit. Cut to his turn, and he does some invoked plays to get a Mechabat out, and attacks directly into a beefy Mirror Force. I was just kind of praying that he didn't have a trap in hand to negate with Mechabat, and he didn't. So that's 3 bodies down from 1 Mirror Force. He ends his turn with an empty board, and surely I have game. I have plenty of resources, I can do my full combo, get out the Guard Dragon plays, and yeah, we get the Beirut. So after getting a token, I decide to revive Quad Boral with Furious Dragon and Grave, but I definitely think that was a strong misplay. I should have left it until the turn after. During the end phase, we get a body off the Magna Rocket we destroyed with Squib Draw, and pass on that. He sets up another Mechabat and then attacks into Tracer, to which we use its effect to bait out the Mechabat and then drop the Ghost Ogre to kill it. It feels good resolving a one-off hand trap, not gonna lie. Sadly, it wasn't enough to swing back on our next turn, and it ended up just being another slow grind game until we eventually lost. Round 3. We win the dice roll against Salomon Great, and to keep it short and sweet, we kind of misplay a lot and get 2-0'd rather swiftly, so we end on a record of 1-2. RKD ain't looking too hot right now, but hopefully that picks up as we flesh out the deck in future episodes. But for now, we'll move on to the prize packs. Same as last time, we have a Dark Neo Storm pack and a OTS 10, so let's see what we can grab out of here. Ib obviously being the main thing we want to pull, but let's have a look. We got Grand Maju, we got Altergeist Haunted Rock, we got the Goki Link, another Altergeist card, we got Big Dragon for the rare, and hey, Crackdown is actually a good card. We can at least stick that in the side deck, and a bunch of other commons here. There is actually a common in this set that I want to pull called Delingerous Dragon. At least I think it's called Delingerous Dragon. It's a Link 2 Dark Dragon monster, and it's specifically made for our deck, but we haven't pulled it yet, sadly. Moving on here, we have Assault Mode Activate, Super Rail Cannon Dora, and Batteryman Solar. Sadly, not another Dragon's Mirror, because that's what I'm really wanting to pull for the deck, but yeah, that's the prize packs. Right, so what have we learned today? Player error is definitely a really big thing right now. I am making a lot of misplays. I'm sure it's kind of inevitable with the nature of the deck we're playing, but a bit of practice never hurts. I also noticed that with Utopia Double, we probably could have won every match there, so it's a real shame we don't have Double or Nothing. I'm really tempted to put Rapid Trigger back in as well, but I feel like just them 3 matches isn't enough to really make any drastic decisions, so I'll probably leave it for now. It also seems that Aggerpain alone has made the deck so much better, so going forward, we definitely want to try and get the full Guard Dragon engine. Finally, I want to ask, where the heck did you come from? At the time of recording, I woke up this morning with about 30 subscribers, which is all just people I know because the channel's brand new. All of a sudden, by the end of the day, I've gained at least 100 subscribers literally out of nowhere, and I have no idea why. Either way, welcome aboard. I really do appreciate this support. So let's keep this going, tell your friends, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll catch you next week.